Hello, everybody. Welcome to Weekend Sports, and this is our Lions pregame Monday Night Football this week against the 49ers. Revenge game for the Lions. They're favored by 3.5, surprisingly. For what the game is, the 49ers are only 6-9 right now, struggling to get by for the year, while the Lions are 13-2. ESPN gives them a very good chance to win, 61%, 62% chance to win. 49ers are very injured. They're on their fourth string running back. Brock Purdy has not had the greatest year. And they're receiving wise, Kittle, their tight end, is their leading wide receiver so far this year.
Yeah, I mean, probably only second to us, the 49ers have been really banged up. This is supposed to be a return to a possible return to the Super Bowl this year for them, but you can't do anything about injuries. It's like we're fighting the same thing. And they're still a really good team, but I don't know if they're going to be shutting people down for this game. I don't know if they're who is not in it for them. Do we know what their injury thing
There's
is?
not been any news to. I can check an injury report.
If I was
real
them,
quick.
I wouldn't be playing anybody of any importance if I thought they were hurt or nursing anything. There's no point in getting people hurt. You want them back next year. So I don't know how that's going to affect the game, but I expect us to, finish business and wait and see what the last game of the year means. If it's us against Minnesota for the final game, and that's just the way it comes down.
49ers have not given any kind of injury report.
I think we're all, like you said, hoping Green Bay does their job and beats Minnesota and maybe helps us out. And we can rest people an extra week because, while a lot of people think that you shouldn't do that, we're not in a position right now to even debate that. I mean, if we get a chance to rest people, we need to rest them.
People who could be coming back this week, well, probably not coming back this week, but on their way back, Reese Maven, he's been practicing again. His practice window's been open for a week. He has about 13, 14 days left by the end of this week. Khalif Raymond just got activated off IR as well to be coming back. His practice window is open, so he has a chance to be back this week if everything goes right. So you are, again, slowly getting healthier than what you were.
We'll know by Monday night, if Green Bay beats Minnesota. And if they do, we go all out to win this game against San Francisco so we can sit people.
Yes. So if Green Bay wins this week, it's very easy for the Lions. Win, and you get the number 1 seed plus the NFC North. If you don't win this week, or Minnesota wins this week, the next week's for all the marbles. Number 1 seed and division.
Right.
Now, that's perfectly. You could have a bad week still and get the number 1 seed and the division next week. Minnesota cannot lose this week. If Minnesota loses this week and we win, obviously it don't matter. We have the tiebreaker. If Minnesota wins and we lose, we still have the tiebreaker for next week if we tie them overall. So there's no way Minnesota gets this unless the Lions lose one of the next 2 games. And they win one of the next 2 games, basically. They'll win both games. They got to win both games. It's basically Minnesota has to win out. Technically, Minnesota controls their own destiny just as much as the Lions control their own destiny at the end of the day. But we're mostly talking about the 49ers game. And the 49ers themselves, like we said, they're banged up. Injuries galore. They don't have a practice report because when we're making this, it's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon for them on a Wednesday. So they're not going to, or Thursday. So they're not going to release a practice report because they just started practicing. Well, we won't get a practice report right now because it's 1 o'clock for them. But for Lions-wise, it's very small. Glasgow should be back this week.
Although I thought Christian Mahogany did a fine job.
Mahogany, well, that shows you who we're not signing next year. We're not going to get Zietler back because Mahogany's going to fill in.
I'm just saying that Glasgow should come back if he's 100%. Well, or if he's close to. I mean, I'm for resting people until they are ready for the playoffs. The playoffs are what matters, and if we could somehow get that number 1 seed, that's all that matters.
Just look for people to
rests.
slowly get activated off IR. Like I said, Mabing was activated last week, so he could be back this week. Raymond was activated this week, so could be back next week or playoffs, depending on what you want to do. Um, Anzalone, probably in the next week or so, is going to be activated off IR. I would assume
Have you heard that?
because he should be ready. They're saying he should be ready for the playoffs.
Woo!
So you should be slowly getting your linebackers back from injury, except for obviously Rodriguez because he doesn't have an ACL right now.
Right.
But besides that, you should be getting and Barnes because he's still hurt too. He's out for the year. Regardless, you should be getting some linebackers back. Raymond should be coming back, so you have your punt returner and another wide receiver coming back. Glasgow, he was out last week, probably will be back this week, but they want to rest him more. Go ahead. Mahogany really did not do that bad. But again, you are slowly getting healthier. And my mindset for this game is I feel like Detroit is going to go into this game like they did against Dallas and just want to nonstop put the score as high as they can to rub it in their face that they are a better team than the 49ers. And they will not make the same mistake as they did last year in the NFC Championship.
No, I don't. I hope not.
It is gonna be. They're gonna want to do that. They're going to want to go into San Francisco, put up 50 points
I
like
don't
they
think they're
did
going to
against
want
the
to go.
49ers.
No, I don't think because there is no revenge game here. They did it to themselves last year.
They did,
So,
but
we want to win this game for one reason only, so that we can rest our players, so that we can possibly freaking have an extra week of rest for our players. That's the only motivation for this game.
I'm just surprised that the number for the game, the odds are not further in the Lions' favor. It's only 3.5, which to me seems pretty low between the two records. They think it could be a field goal or
It's in San Francisco. I still think San Francisco's a good team. I just don't know.
predicted weather for that night is 56, partly cloudy. So not even that bad of a day. It's going to be pretty nice. 56 ain't warm, but 56 ain't that bad. But we'll move on to score predictions. My guess, again, they've been putting up 30 plus points for multiple past weeks. I think it's going to continue. I'm going to go with a nice 38-14.
Whoa.
Lions.
Yeah, I'm going to say 34-20.
A little bit closer.
Detroit.
I think they've been putting up 30 points consistently for the past few weeks, so I think the trend will continue. And they're going to put up a good amount.
Do you think? Did you predict the Pack to beat the Minnesota Vikings this week?
I think that they have a good chance. I don't know if they will.
It's in Lambeau, right?
Well, no, it's in Minnesota. We'll do as Lions fans. We'll do our due diligence before we go. Check in on what the NFL overall is thinking for that game. Where have the odds gone? Have they shifted at all? It is still 1.5 in the Vikings' favor right now. They have it 50. They give the Packers a 55% chance to win.
Does this win help Green Bay at all if they win?
I mean, I guess who they might face, but
are you talking about just simply between being a 6 seed and a 7 seed?
Yeah, 60.
So really, they don't have any chance of overtaking Minnesota.
I mean, the only chance they have is that they beat Minnesota. I don't know if Green Bay can hop Minnesota in the standings if they lose 2 straight weeks.
Right. Well, they're at 12 wins.
Yeah. Well, 13. So if Minnesota loses out there 13-4, Green Bay wins out there at 13-4. I don't know how the seedings go in that case. If Green Bay would be higher than Minnesota in that case, where Washington plays into all this, because if Washington wins out, they're all kind of in the same place as everybody else in this list, because Washington is 10-5. So if Green Bay loses, but Washington wins, now Washington and Green Bay have the same record. So it's more or less fighting for seeding than anything, because I think if Washington beats the Falcons this week, they clinch a playoff spot. Playoffs are basically set in the NFC. More or less, you're playing for where you're going to be playing,
right? Okay.
Over anything. So I think it's just a matter of seeding, because Green Bay clinched last week, so they're not. It's more of less pride for make sure they can beat Minnesota after being beaten in Lambeau earlier this year. Okay. It's basically what Green Bay is playing for right now. Seeding and pride. But we'll end it with that. With all that being said, if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, share the video around. Let us know what you think is going to happen this week. Until next time, see everybody soon.